with Juno and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't think that her, doing anything with this album cover is like anti-feminist.
But it was called Man's Best Friend, the album.
I think she's, again, I think
and
like
which is a dog, right?
Right, and I think it's a joke because
always going to get a big brain take from Taylor Lorenz. Miss, oh my God, Luigi Mangione. I have his teeny bopper posters up in my wall.
Yeah, sorry, was getting a lot of
This
echo.
is not supposed to be sexual, you don't
I don't think it's... No, I honestly think if you polled the average man, they would be repulsed by that because I think they've trained their brain to literally be repulsed by the idea of female genitalia with hair on it. I mean, you can like look at top 40 categories and see that. I mean, poll the men on the panel. Do they find that hot? I feel like they don't.
What's it called? Well, it was a woman that was outraged by the pubic hair. So why is she bringing up, oh, it's men, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, no, it was a woman that was complaining about it.
Well, James, do you find that hot?
Yeah, I was going to say, gay British Anthony Michael Hall right here. Of course, he's not going to find it hot because, well, he's gay and British.
Hey, man, I think it's slay. I don't think I'm turned on by it, but I
think
love
it's
it.
what? Slay?
I think it's slay.
No, you're not turned on by it.
But I do think it's hot in a good way. I think it's reclaimed. It's her body and she can do what she wants with it.
Oh,
and I think, like you said about porn and the stuff we see online, like, why is it only okay when men have control over it? Why when Lorde decides to own her own body, her feminism, why is that then
we don't see many blokes get the dick out on their albums, right?
Would you be, well, why? I'd love to see that. Would you be happier if she was there with an ironing board in the kitchen? Like, what?
Oh, gosh. No, we don't like it no matter who's controlling the corn. We don't like it when men control the corn. We don't like it when women control the corn. We don't like it when men use women to put their bodies out there like that. And we don't like it when women use themselves to put their bodies out there like that. How about that one?
You want?
I don't know how I feel about it. I'm Farah did give me a rather persuasive argument. So Esther, what's the counter argument?
Why can't she be on a beach with like a top and jeans?
Why can't she do both?
Why can't she just be smiling? Why do I need to see your hairy vagina? Why is this necessary? I mean, and the thing is, it's always for the shock factor. I'm sorry, I've seen Rihanna's boobs. Nothing shocks me anymore. Unless you literally put a webcam up your uterus and take live pictures, nothing surprises me
Esther,
anymore. Absolutely not.
I don't want put a webcam up my bumhole.
No, I don't want to.
No, please.
I said uterus, since we're talking about women. This is completely unnecessary.
No,
and also,
please.
like, why? I never even saw Lorde as a sexual person because I actually respected her for her talent. And now I just think, ugh.
Well, I mean, we're talking about it.
Hen, what's your view?
Yeah, and like, what about that? That's a woman right there telling you that, like, oh, I actually respected her because of her talent, but now she's degraded herself into using her body, and for what? For attention, for shock value. Feminism told modern women they could do no wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're talking about it. I guess that's what she's trying to achieve, and she's getting it. So,
so we have gay British Anthony Michael Hall here, and we have Timu gay Hassan Piker.
So
well, there's another star out there, Sabrina Carpenter. So let me bring Taylor in on this one, because I actually thought this one was a bit more unsettling. I'm kind of with you, Farah, on the Lorde one. I don't really have a big problem with that. This one I thought was a bit more problematic, because this was supposed to be some great sort of feminist statement by one of the biggest pop stars in the world. But it kind of, I just felt like, yeah, what message is she sending her young female fans here? What did you think?
And especially Sabrina Carpenter, she appeals to young girls. And look at this cover here, like, granted, there's no nudity, but she's wearing like a short dress and she's on her knees in front of a man while a man's holding her hair. This is, yes, like, I find this problematic because as someone with daughters, I don't want my daughter looking at this and thinking, oh, is this what girls have to be like?
Think of it.
I mean, Sabrina Carpenter is known for being very like,
you're always going to get a big brain take from Taylor Lorenz. Miss, oh my God, Luigi Mangione. I have his teeny popper posters up in my wall.
Sorry, that was I was asking Taylor, actually. Taylor.
I think Sabrina Carpenter is very like tongue-in-cheek with her sexuality, and you can see this even on stage with the various positions that she does with Juno and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't think that her doing anything with this album cover is like anti-feminist.
But it was called Man's Best Friend, the album.
I think she's, again, I think
and
like
which is a dog, right?
She's right, and I think it's a joke because
the album's called Man's Best Friend, and she is like this on the cover. Oh boy. I bet Men set this up too. I bet Men was in charge of putting that cover together, marketing the cover, marketing Sabrina Carpenter, huh? Pretty sure Men were in charge of that. So why aren't all these so-called feminists outraged by this?
I mean, I think like if you listen to her actual
is it a joke music, or is it playing into a stereotypical view of a man mistreating a woman?
I think she is, again, doing it sort of in this like ironic way, and I think that her fans recognize that. But I also agree with him that
they're quite young. I mean, my daughter's a big fan of her. She's 13. I mean, they're young girls. They're not having fully formed views about this. I mean, the imagery is sort of weird, isn't it? I mean, I just think I'm thinking particularly of her young female fans, of which there are millions. Do you feel comfortable with that?
I mean, even Sabrina Carpenter's music is very suggestive and very like. I don't want my daughter like listening to that stuff, teaching all this is how girls are and stuff. It's actually a very degrading view of women. You know, it's teaching them to be all boy crazy, but not even boy crazy, but even just like it's hard to explain. But people like Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo, these appeals to young girls, and I don't think they should. I don't think young girls should be listening to that. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I wish I could better articulate why I wouldn't want them to, but this is just not a very positive way to for women for young girls to listen to. And it's funny, me, a non-feminist, saying something like that, huh? You would think that what I'm saying right now is something a feminist would say, but the feminists are here defending it. It's almost like they're full of shit.
Like the same, this outrage reminds me of like when people were like, what about our young female fans, you know, seeing positions with Juno. I just think like female artists are sexualized by the public, by men, by the record industry so much. And there only seems to be outrage when they sort of express sexuality or try to make commentary on sexuality in their own terms.
Right.
Oh, that's complete rubbish. Every female artist at some point goes through like a sexuality phase, and we expect it. I don't think that's the point here. I feel like this is a film reference. So was it Secretary, that film with Maggie Gyllenhaal back in 2001? I think that's the reference here, because the pose and everything kind of it's reminiscent of that era, and I think that's what it is. And Sabrina Carpenter's already made it clear her concerts are not for children. She's always said, you know, a lot of children go to them. Yes, but they're not for children. If you're going to take the risk to take your child there, then get ready for them to see a whole lot of cheeks.
But they are marketed for young girls. I mean, like, it appeals to young girls. Like, young girls are gonna like this stuff. Now, I'm not saying we should ban Sabrina Carpenter or anything like that. I agree. Like, just don't take your daughters there. But there's probably a lot of young girls going to these concerts. Like, let's not deny that happens. Also, too, like, who's gonna know that's a Maggie Gyllenhaal reference? I didn't freaking know that. I just know the album's called Man's Best Friend, and she's there on all fours in front of a dude while dude's holding her hair.
So it's a piece of ironic, you know, like ironic feminism.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's feminist. Like, why does everything have to be feminist? This is what I don't understand. Not everything has to have a feminist angle. She's a grown woman. She's 25, 26. She can do what she wants. I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem when I'm looking at Lord's uterus. That's too much for me, or her hairy vagina.
Okay. Hen, what do you think of that?
On its own, the Sabrina Carpenter, I mean, yeah, like it's risque, but it's not like, oh, like as bad as nudity. But the fact of the matter is, Sabrina Carpenter's music does appeal to young girls, like preteen, young teenage girls. It appeals to the and it's everywhere. So that's my only thing. I would just suggest, again, I'm not saying we should ban Sabrina Carpenter or like ban her music or anything like that. But I would want it to let, you know, be known that, yeah, I just don't think that you should allow your young girls to listen to Sabrina Carpenter. Or at the very least, have them understand, at least talk to them and understand that this is not the way women are supposed to be.
I mean, for me, it's just, I think women should be able to do what they want to do. I I do think it's sexual, and I think there's a message there that we can't ignore, but it's their decision. I don't think a lot of men are doing it, but as James said, if they want to, he would love to see it.
Would you, Piers?
What, the Sabrina Carpenter picture?
No, would you like to see X-rays of male genitalia?
No, I moved on to Sabrina Carpenter.
I think I'm more shocked actually here that Esther is offended by Bush. I'm really shocked by that. I thought you would love a bit of Bush.
Well, what about
how much money that woman makes?
To come back to Sabrina.
Do you know how much money that woman makes, and she can't even bother to get a good wax? Come on, laser that shit off, woman. That lady's hilarious. But what's wrong with Bush? They had a lot of great songs. Come Down, come on.
Carpenter picture. My only issue with it is just whether a young impressionable girl fan is going to look at that and get the wrong message.
Well, look, they're surrounded by an
children.
American culture and Western culture. That's what's going to give them the wrong message about women and women's rights and women's sexuality.
Wait, did she really bring up Ann Coulter? What fucking 13-year-old girl is listening to Ann fucking Coulter? Maybe make sure I heard that right. Maybe she said culture and not Ann Coulter.
Western culture. That's what's going to give them the wrong message
Western
about women.
culture. Okay,
it's
all
just
right.
whether a young impressionable girl fan is going to look
me.
at that and get the wrong message.
Well, they're surrounded by an
children.
American culture and Western culture. That's what's going to give them the wrong message about women and women's rights and women's sexuality. They're bombarded with wrong messages.
Yeah.
I think also
like what? What are these wrong messages? I mean, because I agree, they are bombarded with wrong messages. I think we just have different definitions of what these messages are.
Album cover. These artists are trying to get attention. They're trying to generate discussion. Part of it, I think, is feeding publicity.
I think it's crazy that you're picking on Sabrina Carpenter as the issue about
very talented.
Well, there's so much wrong with the internet. There's so many things that people shouldn't see, and you're picking on an album cover that not as many people have access to.
But should you fuel
the
against internet
both
porn phenomenon?
I think you have to take control of things, of bad things.
Is she doing that with that cover?
I feel that
you could be against both, but the thing is, when we also say, "Hey, we think corn should be banned," then you guys oppose it for some reason.
She is, yeah. I think
you say that we're controlling people, what they do and stuff, and what they're allowed to view, and all this other stuff. So get off that with, well, they could see much worse on the internet. Yeah, but we're against that as well. You could be against both.
Well, first of all, I just don't know where we got this idea that it's unfeminist to sexualize a woman or for a woman to be sexual, right? Like, feminists have never taken up arms with the idea of a woman even feeding into the male gaze. If that were the case, feminists would be against even like blowing your boyfriends or your husbands, which obviously feminists are not purporting. Or they
what?
I would say any man who's even like consummated with his wife is like a misogynistic pig, right? So I don't know why we think it's unfeminist to even like
even Taylor Lorenz. Even Taylor Lorenz was like, what? That's pretty bad when even Taylor Lorenz is thinking you're not making much sense.
Yourself in the public eye. Like, what feminists have had a problem with in terms of sexualization is they've said like, hey, please don't sexualize us in the workforce. That's Me Too. Hey, please don't sexualize us when we're like walking down the street. That's like protest, street harassment.
Do you guys have any other arguments other than men bad? Do you guys ever take any responsibility? Or is all your arguments is just men bad? Yeah, but look at the way men sexualize us, catcall us, and hit on us in the workplace and all this stuff. Like, do you guys ever take responsibility?
Don't sexualize us when we say we're not interested.
That's not coherent.
Seminars,
so
right?
I can have my boobs out on a Saturday, or I'm sorry, this idea that yes, you can just pretend like we haven't seen your spread bumhole on the internet so you can pay your rent, but we should treat you as a professional on a Monday. Okay, fine, but they've still seen it. And I appreciate we should be respectful and have boundaries. But this idea that women can have it both ways, yes, you can get your tits out to free the nipple, but then you must also treat you like a hardworking professional and pretend like you didn't just get your kit off to make a bit of money.
Should your husband and boyfriend not respect you because they've seen you naked?
Hold on. Respect is for everyone.
Ever had sex
everyone should be respected. But let's not pretend.
But you just said it's completely incoherent, incompatible to see a woman.
Yeah, there's a difference between your boyfriend just seeing you naked, or even, well, mostly your husband. Should be your husband for seeing you naked. And the whole world.
woman getting her clothes off
her the next day. That makes no
hold
sense.
on. No one is advocating for
and
disrespect.
for money too. You're literally monetizing your flesh. Monetizing your flesh.
A baseline for every single human, man, woman, whatever. But this ridiculous idea that, oh yes, I'm a woman, I can spread my anus on the internet to pay my rent and get my top off and walk the streets to free the nipple, and there should be no difference between that and me being a professional attorney, and no one should view me differently. I'm sorry, you can't get it both ways. You can do what you want, but you cannot tell people how to view you. If we're talking about respect, we're on the same page. Of course, everyone deserves respect, but we don't live in a society that people are going to be have selective amnesia and forget the fact that they've just seen a woman in a complete state of undress.
Well,
so she can commercialize herself on the internet as an online prostitute.
About respect. Like,
I'm sorry.
What's the key difference then if you're saying that like
you cannot tell the public what to think about you when you choose to behave in certain ways. Just like if I was walking down the street and I saw someone walking in my direction naked, I'm crossing the road, because you can tell me not to judge a book by a cover, but if you leave your house completely naked, I'm just going to assume you're not all there and I'm not going to come around you. It's really that simple.
All right, let's talk about people who left their house and went.
Yeah, 100% correct. And this girl is so brain rotted. Again, feminism rots their brain so much that they think the women should just be able to do anything they want. And if you dare cast any judgment on them, any single judgment, well, you're a misogynist.
To Venice, James, the Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez nuptials. Some have described it as a disgusting, grotesque waste of millions of dollars and all these ghastly celebrities going down there. Other people, including me, I have to say, a bit of much needed light relief.
Ortis, I am actually glad you brought up the bear, because I'll talk about it after the video's over. But I think we should have a new strategy when it comes to the bear. I feel safer around a hungry grizzly bear in the woods than a man. Yeah, that's how much feminism has brain rotted these women. And I have the perfect comeback for it, but I'll see what you guys think.
When all around is misery, mayhem, war, pestilence, and famine. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm quite jealous of the amount of work Lauren's had, to be honest. I
thought she looked great.
No, I think she looks amazing. I'd like that much plastic.
Oh, well, of course a gay man would think she looks amazing. A straight man thinks, wow, what did she do to her face? Only women and gay men think that women look good when they get all this surgery in their face. I'm going to tell you, and I think I'm going to have a lot of straight men agreeing with me here. That shit doesn't look good. It does not. All right. We tolerate it, but we don't think you're more attractive because you've gotten all this Botox and all this shit done on your face. We don't. Again, only women and gay men think that shit looks good.
I'd like a fish to choke on my face when I die.
You cannot be serious.
I think she looks incredible. I think it looked like a lovely day. I don't know what to say, Piers. I think it's a grotesque waste of money. I think there's way better uses for money.
Why should Taylor, Jeff Bezos is worth 200.
Yeah, a lot of people were upset at their wedding. And I was like, who gives a shit? Rich people get married and have big weddings all the time. Who fucking cares? They have the money. Why shouldn't they have this big wedding? It's their special day. Let them have a big wedding. They have the money to afford it. Why the fuck not? Would anyone who's hating on them, if they had all that money, they wouldn't have a nice wedding? They would. All these people that talk shit on rich people and stuff like that, oh, well, they should have done this with the wedding. It's, how dare they have a big wedding? Like, if they wouldn't have a big wedding, if it was up to them, if they had the money. They're all a bunch of haters. All a bunch of haters, and it's just jealousy.
$1 billion. If they want to fritter a few million on a wedding for 200 of their closest Kardashian friends, why shouldn't they?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it's a grotesque waste of resources.
Well,
I was sort of interested in who their social circle was. It seemed like there weren't a lot of normal people at that wedding. It was all celebrities and the Kardashians.
There were 200, and apparently,
who cares?
I think I read 70 were family. So quite a lot of family.
Were just A-list celebrities, I guess. I don't
know.
They
were the ones who got photographed. We probably didn't see all the ones who were not well known.
Yeah. I don't know. There was just a lot of people there that I was like, I didn't know that those people were in, the Bezos Sanchez circle.
I mean, the thing that made me laugh was people in Venice whining about this, sickening exploitation and commercialization of their great city. I was like, have you been to Venice? Have you tried to hire a gondola? Have you tried to buy a cornetto? I mean, do you know how much they fleece tourists all year round? It's like, please do me a favor. We're all in the same exploitation, commercialization business. Farah, what did you think of the Bezos-Lauren Sanchez wedding?
Sorry, I misheard the original point. Can you say it again?
Well, no. What did you think of the Jeff Bezos-Lauren Sanchez wedding? Were you in favor of this ostentatious display of wealth or sickened by it?
I didn't keep up. I didn't know much about it.
What, you didn't even notice?
No, I actually didn't know about it. No.
Wow. Have I broken news to you that Jeff Bezos has married Lauren Sanchez?
No, yeah, I just didn't know much about the wedding. I just knew it was like a tight wedding with a bunch of celebrities, right?
Do you know who they are, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez?
Yeah, I know who they are. Yeah, I just didn't keep up with the wedding details.
What? No, believe it or not, I think this is actually the first base take this woman has ever had, where she's like, I didn't know much about the wedding, because that's exactly how I fucking feel. All I know is Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, they got married, and it was a big wedding, and people were pissed off. That's all I know. I don't know how much the wedding cost. I don't know who was there. I don't know who made her dress. I don't know what they did after. I don't know what kind of food they served. I know jack shit about this wedding, other than the fact they got married, because I don't give a single fuck about their wedding. I just don't. Why should I care about it? So the fact that like Piers is making fun of her that she doesn't know much about it, I actually think she's kind of based for that. Only base thing this woman has ever said. Why should any of us care who's there? Why? Why? Who cares? Rich people got married. Big fucking whoop. Something that happens all the time.
Oh,
You didn't miss much.
You're a cultural commentator, and the biggest cultural event of the week has passed you by.
It was no Meghan and Harry, was it?
Well, that was
That was a wedding.
Hen, what's your view of this? I mean, look, there's a lot of serious stuff going on. I kind of thought it was a bit of light relief. I've met Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez a few times. They're always very nice. They seem to have a nice, happy life.
That's why you like them.
Why do we care? You know what? I take people exactly as I find them. That's why I've always...
All right. So that was Farha Khalidi. I'm going to end it here. But that was Farha Khalidi actually being... absolutely contradictory with all her feminist views. But again, she has feminist brain rot. So what do you expect? But she even said some things that even, brain rotted Taylor Lorenz thought didn't make sense. And like I said earlier, even if Taylor Lorenz didn't think you made sense, what does that say about you? But what did you guys think about this? Sound off in the comment section below. Give this video a like if you liked it. And if you really liked it, please subscribe to my channel. I got much, much more videos just like this one. And I also live stream Mondays through Fridays, the Cool Stream Live at 12:30 p.m.-ish Eastern time. And I release new videos every day. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.